Look around and see the beauty of the sky. Here for you and me, a wonderful life. Look around and see the beauty of the sky. Here for you and me, a wonderful life. No need to run and hide. It's a wonderful, wonderful life. No need to laugh and cry. It's a wonderful, wonderful life.
Right, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. How's everybody doing? What about you? No music? Come on, we've got to have better music. My dulcet tones are a bit, a little bit on the dull side. Hello, is that better? Yeah, I've seen the old mic issue. Is that fucking... Right, third time's a charm. Still robot mode? Oh, good. Excellent. Yeah, well, I bought a replacement, what's it called? Blue Yeti. But clearly I need something else. It's a bit annoying. I know.
Look around and see the beauty of the sky. Here for you and me, a wonderful life.
Maybe we don't do it tonight. Hello? Is that better? If it goes again, I'm just gonna sack it off, to be honest. But fuck it. Cheers, everyone. Now let's go. Excellent. Right. Let's hope it doesn't fuck up again. So let's try for the third time. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I bought a brand new Blue Yeti and it's still fucked. So I'm guessing it's my PC, but I've got no idea how to fix it because I'm literally retarded with PCs. But yeah. We will give it a go. And the worst thing is that I don't know when it fucks up, right? It just fucking goes. Yes, good evening. Right. Is everyone enjoying the market? Yes, no, maybe. Are we all super bullish? Better, excellent. Thank you all. So first off, let's shout out to BonkBot for sponsoring the stream. They are our stream partners. They are absolute legends. They have built the most secure trading terminal out there. If you've seen some of the recent hacks with, what was it called? Nova or something like that. You know, these boys are far, far safer. They have spent literally months doing all sorts of technological wizardry that they did explain to me that I do not understand. But TLDR, funds are Safu. And obviously, it's very sexy to trade on. We'll ape some shit. We'll ape some shit now, shall we? What are we going to do? Rip Aussie? There's no way Aussie Osborne's dead. What? Is this for real? Should we just bosh a bit? Should we buy some Rip Aussie? Rip for the Aussie. We enjoy the breakout soon? No, sidelined. Man. That is savage. Savage. Look how quickly this is updating. I can see my losses in real time. It's fucking great. Let's go. Bosh. Let's go in for a soul and see how it goes by the end of the stream. You know, what we can do is we could do some actual auto strat stuff. So like 2x the market cap. We can sell and we can, you know, jump out there, which is quite nice. If we really wanted to, just smash it above, you know, bosh. We'll just stick a limit in there, and if it goes, it goes. Brilliant. If it doesn't, well then, fuck it. We'll just leave it. But yeah. Let's remember to check on this before. What? Remember to check on before it. Oh yeah, before it tanks this time. Yeah. But I think every other one in the streams have not gone particularly well. But yeah, we're gonna send Rip Aussie to billions. No, we're not actually. Not actually. Just, you know, don't buy it. This is pure gamble money. But you can see how quick the execution was. You can see how quickly this is updating. Even though I'm streaming and my PC has spaghetti open, it has the spaghetti open, and yeah, it has lots of other shit. So yeah, before it tanks. Yeah. So I posted earlier about good old BTC. I think for me, the like real simple way of looking at it is, you know, fixed range, a volume profile, pretty much draws it for you in a nice way, right? It just says, here's the point of control. So this is, you know, the point at which the most volume has been transacted from a price perspective. The value area high here, and the value area low, which is 70% of the volume has been transacted here. You know, we are now kind of sitting above that. And in these kind of strong trending conditions, right, like proper run up into consolidation, you know, my bet is that we are going to leg up again, right? Not the hardest thing to envision, you know, it's like stonks have done pretty well recently. You know, they're kind of, you know, new highs on Monday, you know, yesterday, like everything's just kind of moving up and to the right, and I don't think crypto's going to be any different, right? Now, it might be, but I've got no interest in shorting it. I'll just go back to Bitcoin. I've got no interest in trying to be really, really clever and like over trade on BTC itself. Like my exposure to Bitcoin is good. You know, I did actually try and take a short wherever it was, back here somewhere, down here at like, yeah, about 107, on the basis that this was, you know, a series of lower highs. I got stopped, but I've been in spot like since down here, since back here, wherever, and I just think that, you know, holding spot BTC is pretty comfy and chill at the moment. Now that changes obviously if we start losing this level, losing this range, etc., and then it looks a little bit bleaker. But for now, sat comfy, sat strong. Altcoin rotations have been really nice, right? Nice little rotation to like Solana memes, or Solana just eco generally. Like, risk is pretty much still on, yeah? So looking at this from like a spaghetti perspective, in the last 24 hours, you know, there's been less movement in terms of like good strong runners. Pengu is pretty epic, and we'll come on to that in a bit. But, you know, generally, we've seen decent rotations over the last few days, and, you know, since like last week basically. So, you know, I'm not uncomfortable. I think, you know, Pump Fun getting absolutely wrecked and shitting the bed is quite funny. You know, the classic dump fun. Compression on the highs, yeah. Hope Powell gets fired, and then we might get a nice dip. You reckon? Get alts firework if we break above value area high. So I think this is one of the things that I talked about in my outlook this week, is that what tends to happen is, like, putting things really simply, yeah, Bitcoin goes up, and in that risk on phase, a lot of alts go with it, yeah, and then as soon as it starts consolidating, you know, we were lucky enough to have ETH pump, yeah, so ETH pumped like for this period, and probably for this period actually, so ETH was pumping here, so a lot more alts went like this. Now the last couple of days, you know, it's been a few outperformers, not too bad, but, you know, if it goes down, we know that all the alts are going to shit the bed, right? Everything's just going to go with it, 'cause Bitcoin will tank it all down no matter what, yeah? If it starts running, then what we've got to be careful of is that it doesn't essentially start like a Bitcoin dominance run. And if it does that, which, you know, it very may well do, because we've had a nice little bit of rotation on several alts, As you know, it's been down only for a good week on Bitcoin DOM, right? So I'll take this off now because it's not really particularly appropriate to oh, I know what it is. It's because we talked about this. And look at the unwind. The unwind and you know, a simple like div across the highs, like everything there. What's that, like 7 days or something? It just absolutely, you know, that is kind of like classic quote unquote like alt season, right? It just ripped 8% down on Bitcoin DOM in a few days, like wild. But equally, this is crypto. It could equally do that for a few days, create a lower high, and then we go again, right? So you have a Bitcoin rotation, and then you have altcoin rotation, like here. Now I'm not like lining up these dates or anything. I'm just trying to give you a little bit of insight as to how I'm thinking of the next few days. And if we do get some Bitcoin strength and it does start genuinely breaking over like the value area high, which is kind of attempted to do now, we've got to be very careful and cognizant of how altcoins react, because they might just fall over compared to Bitcoin, right? And the way that I'm going to monitor that is this. It's spaghetti, yeah? So look at this. Like, right now on this rotation, this last 1 minute rotation, very few coins are really outperforming Bitcoin. Yeah, good to see Litecoin outperforming Bitcoin. We long that last week. SPX as well, got a spot position on SPX. Pengu, got a perp on that. So, you know, pretty much I got a big bag of Burt as well, are the outperformers. Now, everything else is under Bitcoin, which isn't particularly good and kind of adds to the thesis of, well, if Bitcoin starts running, we might be in trouble in terms of alt rotations. Not necessarily like in the long run. It's not saying sell your bags. It's just from an intraday trading perspective, the best opportunity, A, might be Bitcoin, or B, it might be one of these alts that's outperforming it right now, right? So it's not going to be as forgiving, is my kind of perception of it. You should have shorted Pump just like you did Trump. Yeah, that's true. I did short Pump for a little bit, but not for very long. I literally got 10% out of it and was like, yeah, that'll fucking do. Yeah, was not ideal. So there's a possibility that all capital will flow into Bitcoin if it's breaking out. Yeah, exactly that. And it's not like, oh, all capital's flowing to it and all that kind of stuff. It's just if it's outperforming the market, like in general, it's going to be quite difficult to justify holding altcoins whilst Bitcoin is ripping. If it's a Bitcoin rotation, like a proper Bitcoin rotation, right? And it's just a kind of watch out. And then what you'll get is you'll get that kind of big FOMO on BTC, and actually, like, people will be selling their alts for Bitcoin. And what we used to get, like, in 2017 was it was a Bitcoin or an altcoin rotation, and that was largely because you could only trade in alt BTC pairs. So you could, let's say, have, you know, ETH BTC. You could have Ethereum or Bitcoin, but you couldn't just go to US dollar. Like, Tether wasn't really a thing, USDC wasn't really a thing, and so on and so forth, right? Oh, we're making bank. Making bank, boys. Let's go. Oh, it's gonna fucking dump now, isn't it? Lovely. On chain is so amazing with just how fast it changes. But anyway, we might make a profitable trade. Can't even say the word. On stream, that would be nice. So, yeah, we've kind of established what I'm looking for in terms of like this next rotation, right? We'll see if anything is particularly strong, any outperformers that I haven't got a bag of, because I've literally got a bag of pretty much all these things apart from syrup. So yeah, I'm pretty well covered actually. But we'll talk about like how I'd position into this. Like for me personally, you really need to break above this kind of 119 if I was playing like a proper breakout trade, but I hate breakout trading Bitcoin these days. I did do it last week, like live in the group, and it just didn't, it literally just round tripped itself pretty fast, which, and that's the problem in these conditions. Everyone kind of expects it to just be like, we're going now, and actually the market can range for much longer than anyone would like. But hopefully this is the rotation. Hopefully it's a good, strong Bitcoin rotation, and hopefully we get, you know, a pretty decent move, yeah. But we will see. But yeah, if it rejects here, then it's going to be a boring couple of days as we head to range lows. If we do sell off and we actually, you know, cascade down to these lows, then yeah, it's going to be tough holding on to alts, and we're going to lose a lot of trends. But does that make sense? Charlie, did you trade it in with XO or you let that slide? No, I didn't trade that, mate. Like, this is the thing, right? There's so many opportunities at the moment. So many opportunities. There's something I keep speaking about, which is like, you have to get your bags. You can try and rotate like all the time, but if you've got decent sized bags with decent positions, you know, you shouldn't be over rotating all the time. Now, you can play intraday rotations on Spaghetti, obviously. That's good fun. That keeps you involved in the market. That keeps you kind of alert and in tune with the meta that's going on. But, you know, from a swing perspective, from a high time frame perspective, you know, I'm not really fucking around with my bags particularly. You know, we long Litecoin, when was it, Thursday? So far so good. So now it's one of the strongest performing assets. You know, I've got some Fartcoin. That was one of the strongest performing assets this morning. It got rejected from the local highs, not a problem, still in a strong uptrend. SPX, again, broke out the former highs. Patience, like this has been what, 2-3 weeks I've been sat in this position now? You know, it's a waiting game. You know, they're still good positions just because they haven't literally, you know, let rip yet. Now, there should be, how do I put it? There should be like plenty of opportunities, yeah? And useless, I mean, useless has been a fucking joke, hasn't it? You know, like in terms of, we went over, yeah, fresh position. But, you know, I did say, I had to caveat this because I was in, I'm obviously in from a lot lower on useless. But yeah, not a bad entry, not a bad plan, and all that kind of stuff. Like, there's lots of opportunities in the market, but if you end up, right, let's say you're in 3 alts, and you know they're each 100 grand, and you've got 2% risk or whatever for each of them. You got 6k of risk on the market. Now, if you start adding a 4th, a 5th, a 6th, a 7th position, and then you take the same risk, you know, you're going to end up with sort of $14,000, $16,000, $18,000 of risk. And then as soon as Bitcoin does something like a little pullback, bosh, like all of those positions are taken out with them. So, yeah, you kind of need to manage your exposure to the market at all times. And what people tend to do in these conditions is they'll go, well, there's a nice setup on useless here, so I'll take that. Well, there's a nice setup on Vanry now, I'll take that. There's a nice one on Wild, I'll take that. Whiff, I'll take that, and so on and so forth. And you end up in about 20 of essentially the same trade, which are all around, you know, Bitcoin beta, and then Bitcoin will just do that, and it'll take you out of all of it. Yo, Charlie, what's going on? Not a lot, Bard, mate. Not a lot. I am actually playing World of Warcraft, Mists of Pandaria. Not right at this second, but yeah, I'm trying to not micromanage my positions, and I'm exceptionally hungover today as well, which is less than ideal. Bosh. Maybe I shouldn't have sold fucking all of it, but there we go. Job done. Absolute belter, rip Aussie. Some smooth execution, some clown selling. But what you can actually do is you can have an auto strat that automatically sells at 2x or sells 50% at 2x or something, you know, just take your initial out and then let it run and configure it that way, which if I wasn't turbo lazy, I would have configured before the strum. But yeah, you can watch me live sell, the future of finance. Just found out Ozzy Osbourne died from this stream. The trenches are quicker than the news. Amazing. Yeah, I mean, like, is he actually dead? Is he actually? What the fuck? Surely not. Well, I thought it was just a meme. Just seen on Twitter. What? Deadass on Sky News. Fuck. Well, genuinely rip Aussie. Fuck me. Christ. I mean, yeah, trenches are faster than anyone. Right, sorry guys, I just tweeted that out because, like, what? Put some Aussie on. Oh, I can't. I don't think, because I think your stream gets banned if you start tweeting that kind. Not tweeting. Sorry, if you could start listening to that kind of stuff. Yeah, I've tweeted this now, haven't I? I'm gonna get fucking like Zach XBT'd for fucking tweeting out a 200k market cap project. But you can literally see that I've sold it. But I'm not very good at this pump and dump low caps thing, am I? Fuck. Oh well. Yeah, sorry boys. But yeah, I guess my point is, like, going back to this, well, firstly, RIP Aussie. But secondly, like, when you take on a load of bags, you essentially up your risk. And I think you have to take a pick of what metas are you going to bet on. You know, it was a good question in the Paragon about like NFT-based coins and like, are they going to come back? And, you know, my honest view is that they will, if the risk cycle continues and we carry on kind of getting a bit more risk on and so on and so forth, then there will be a good rotation on NFT coins, because there'll be a good rotation on NFTs, but it won't be the like be all and end all is my bet, right? So it'll probably be a quick 50% to 100% in like 2 hours, 2 days. You know, it'll be like a really, really good rotation, but there won't be much fuel in the fire. It won't be like it was in 2017 or 2021, where, you know, every single new mint was sold out within seconds. You had to, you know, draw a picture of a dog and then write a name on your tits and send a picture in with you balancing a spoon on your head for a whitelist spot. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to go into that kind of mania, I don't think. Powell has resigned? What? Are you joking? Rug. It's like, it's just teasing me to just buy 0.1 sol of rug. When's the game get to get some love? Yeah, fake. Yeah. Well, the trenches haven't launched anything, so we'll just we'll take the trenches as gospel, shall we? I don't think the gaming sector will get much love, to be honest. I think what you have to consider is, you know, how do I put it? That I'm playing classic. Yeah, I'm playing classic mop, bruv. Yeah. The most exciting cycle of any like meta in crypto is the first one, right? And that is because like all the projects are new, no one knows how high they can go, no one knows how big the adoption is or could be, no one has a clue really what the good metrics are, the bad metrics are. Like, crypto in games is kind of a bit of a meme for two reasons. One is the games themselves don't really benefit from, you know, having crypto. The only way that they actually get any form of benefit is just by getting a token and then dumping millions of dollars on people's heads, right? That's it. So it's not like a token. Sorry, it's not like a game needs a token, right? And there's plenty of like payment processors that people like Steam use, you know, Valve, to have their own marketplace and take their own fees and do whatever they need. And gaming in general, like, there's just not a need for a token ecosystem, really. Like, there's lots of gaming tokens out there that have just had amazing cycles before. You know, cycle 1 of gaming, the 21 cycle 2 of gaming in 24, which was much, much lower, you know, and then, like, yeah, Nakamoto Games, just, yeah, consolidating. Maybe it has another run, but most likely, even if it does, it'll probably have a lower high like here. So, you know, if every kind of aspect of crypto gets its, you know, couple of X, then great, and it's full-blown alt season. But would I be betting on it as, you know, from a PA perspective, it looks all right, yeah? It does look all right, and I don't have a bag of this, so, you know, don't think this is you know, this isn't me endorsing it or anything like that. It's just a case of, well, from a price action perspective, you know, you've got a really clear range, a little accumulation range, but what this actually tells you is that no one really gives a fuck about gaming at the moment. Like, it's just ranged, while a lot of alts have had really, really strong runs. You know, even if you take something like, I was going to say useless is pretty pointless, but like something like Pengu, right? Like, that's just been like up only, yeah. Like, look at it, even like longing consolidations, just whoosh, up it goes. My average pump entry is 0.05. Do I have a chance to live? Do you know what? Pump.fun. Oh no, mate. Oh. I mean, the thing with this is, like, everyone on timeline was like shitting on it, and everyone's like, well, because everyone's shitting on it, it's got a pump, and blah blah blah. I mean, you know, I tried a rotation in here, I think it was, because this was like down only. We had a bit of a consolidation with them, you know, ran it up. That was a good little move on relative strength, and then it just did fuck all and then died. Like, I don't really see, unless they announce something, I don't really see a reason for it to start, you know, reversing. Like, to me, if we get some positive price action, i.e. we start running it up on relative strength from here and can reclaim this kind of range low, maybe play it to the high here, maybe a little bit further, depending on what the rest of the market is doing, right? But I'm not going to just be obnoxiously bullish on pump fun, because it just adds no value. And the pump fun meta, A, it was extractive, and B, it feels like it's dying off a bit. And actually, if you go back to this and you start looking at like pump fund volumes, you know, this is going down and to the right, yeah? So you look at this over the last 30 days, like, it's not doing particularly well. You look at something like Let's Bonk, and it's the exact opposite, you know, it's going up and to the right. So you've got to think that pump fund as a kind of, you know, launch pad, it's losing volume, it's losing traction, their tokens going down. That was probably their final hurrah, you know. I don't blame them, that's what I'd do. You know, fucking launch a token, raise hundreds of millions, and then just sail into the night. Happy fucking days. But still. What about NFTs for games? NPC is free money, 1 billion market cap, easy. Well, I hope it goes there for you, but like, I don't have a bag of it. It's a good meme, in fairness. I know a lot of my mates have it, like Sevo, Wiz, and all that lot. They have big bags of NPC. It is genuinely a good meme, and we've talked about it quite a few times. So, yeah, we've talked about it from, well, there you go. We obviously talked about it on a stream back here. Yeah, there you go. I mean, obviously I bought this. Yeah, I bought this, got a massive bag. In fact, no, I didn't really. But we were obviously talking about it at some point. But yeah. I wish I could take credit. Unfortunately, I'm not in this position. The amount of times that I do this and like I write trades up and or trade ideas and just go through things and then just don't take them, and they work out picture perfect. Is there was two on AVAX. I was talking about high time frame, like this was like last week in group stream, right? So like you have high time frame, like big pivotal levels breaking through, and like you go for like swings, yeah. So you can have a big swing trade, which is essentially, you know, a big high or low up here. But you can also trade like much more like low time frame rotationally and just assume that this reclaim is essentially going to, you know, start a bit of a boomer run, and just trade something like this. And both of them, you know, done pretty well. Did I take either of them? Absolutely fucking not. Absolutely not. But yeah, this is what I mean, is you can't take everything, right? We did Maker as well. What else did we do? We talked about RBN. and my XRP alert was apparently in the most retarded place possible, so I completely missed this. But yeah, hindsight Charlie. Yeah. Ah, it was you, is it, Mob? Yeah. Yeah, what a legend. Yeah, hindsight Charlie. I mean, the thing is that what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to practice exactly what I'm preaching in terms of not over fucking egging into 1,000 different positions and being like, you know, I'm long Litecoin, I'm long SPX, I'm long useless, I've got a Fartcoin long, I've got some Bonk, I've got some Pengu, like I've got a fuck ton of positions, do you know what I mean? I've got some spot Bitcoin, like it's all a bit, there's a lot going on. Do I then need to go AVAX? It's like, well, what's better, AVAX or Litecoin? Like, you know, whenever I've got stuff like that, I try. I don't always do it, but you start looking at, you know, what's the Axe. Bit messy, but like Litecoin over AVAX. So, you know, down here Litecoin wasn't doing too well. And then basically Litecoin has massively outperformed AVAX. So, you know, this is probably one of the worst one of these charts I've kind of ever seen, really, in terms of how like janky it is. Like strong move up, strong move down, strong move up, etc., etc. But usually just doing a simple, you know, one over the other will tell you, you know, if it's going up and to the right, then the first coin is doing better than the second coin. If it's going this way, then the opposite is true. So, you know, you can assess your bias with real facts. BBC Charlie, yeah. Tao's also probably going to 1k. Yeah, Tao's one that I've literally never traded. And I completely missed the entire Tao, like, run up and all this kind of stuff. I've spoken about it a lot. People have asked me to chart it a lot, you know. We talked about it way back here. I kind of remember that and just saying, like, if you think the AI meta is going to come back, then roll with it. You know, similarly, like, tried a long on a reclaim down here. Didn't work. I don't think I took that trade. So I genuinely don't think I've ever traded Tao. But, yeah, there's a lot of people that support it. Charlie, be honest, how good can you live from trading crypto coins? I mean, it depends how you want to live. It depends how much money you've got to start with. It depends your risk appetite. It depends your self-discipline. You know, there's so many variable factors. Like, I live a pretty cushy life, and that's been from, you know, investing in and trading these shitcoins. Obviously, mostly. But if you're sat there going, well, I've got $10,000 and I want to live like I've got $1 billion, you're probably going to be disappointed. Because it's not easy. You know, you need a couple of years runway of expenses. And then even when you log in and you go, right, I'm going to sit here for 20 hours today. You sit there for 20 hours, you find one trade set up, you take it, you lose $10,000, you go, brilliant, that was a good day at work. How can you see spaghetti chat? I'll ping it in the, what's it called? In the YouTube. So, you know, it's very possible to make very, very good money, and there are some incredible traders out there who, there you go, who, you know, really put the time and effort into understanding all the matters. There are some, you know, very complex, like, ARB strategies that people use to, like, get not free money, because there's always risk in the system inherently, right? But, you know, play, like, complex arbitrages out of, you know, inefficiencies in the crypto space. Now, I imagine most of those are kind of few and far between these days. There's altcoin rotational traders like myself, there's high time frame swing traders, there's investors, there's fundamental analysts. There's so many different ways to try and make it in this game that, you know, I would say you should be able to find something that suits your personality style to, you know, make a living. You know, look at Bold Leon, whatever his name is, Bold. Yeah, we'll just say that. You know, he hand draws daily comics. And he's an absolute talent, right? Absolute talent. or Altcoin Gordon, who's an absolute legend, but he tweets mostly shit posts. And he's like, I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread. I just shorted $1 bajillion. If you're not a millionaire by tomorrow, then you fucked up, that kind of thing. But he's hilarious, right? And he's got now hundreds of thousands of followers. Like, psh, yeah, it's wild. So yeah, that's probably my Oh no, you're gonna make me chart one of the charts that I did, and it's actually worked out, but I didn't take the trade as is standard. And this is what I mean. Like, I don't take every trade that I fucking chart, otherwise I'd be either fucking broke or a billionaire, right? There's kind of no in between. I just thought there were better opportunities. Yeah, I think one of the things that we kind of have to consider is like, let's go to Ethereum, because we haven't really spoke about ETH and ETH BTC, right? ETH BTC's like had a really, really strong run up, and those of you who have watched my streams for a while will know that I look at the structure in the same way. Does anyone want to guess? Anyone want to guess what I'm looking at? Fwog looking ready for a spike up? I think if the market in general runs pretty hard, then yeah. Fibs? No. Exponential move to lower high? Yes. Charles Dellinger has absolutely nailed it. What I like to look out for is kind of a big warning sign for me, and like risk. So it's a bit janky, right? And it's usually a bit janky with parabolas, because parabolas are kind of, they're really non-technical, and to be fair, this doesn't look like a major blow off top in terms of like what you normally have is you have a ridiculous candle up at the highs, and obviously this is just ETH BTC. But what this kind of mad rush tells you is that there's been a huge run up that gets exponentially faster and then into a lower high, and then you normally find that that's kind of a pretty brutal trend reversal, even if it's just for the short term, and then you consolidate down here and then you go again or something. Do you know what I mean? My mind's telling me no, but my body is telling me yes. My body is telling me that I need to do monkey runs up to level fucking 88, and then I can finally go to sleep tonight. Same parabola on Bonk. Yeah, it's gonna be on like lots of different things, right? And this is where we get the real kind of choppy move IMO in terms of like, let's just get rid of that. In terms of like this, then you get this range. Everyone tries to long the breakout up here, gets fucked, comes back in, and then that's probably when it goes. And then what you got to look out for is that we don't just take that high and then go like this, and then that's sort of game over. So if something like this happens, there's a short opportunity there if you really want to go for it. When we actually break above this consolidation here, that could be a nice long rotation to this high, i.e. something like this. Bish, bash, bosh. Obviously, you want it to be like as tight as possible. That's what she said. And just play like a rotation on relative strength. Haven't really seen bonk on relative strength. Oh, it is. It is there. Not amazing, but certainly not the worst. So yeah, I think in this kind of condition, in this kind of like looking at this chart, the best scenario for me is something like this, like take those lows and then reclaim and then run it, because that would give you a really, really clean range reclaim. Yeah, we can take a look at Dogecoin. It's kind of pretty similar, right? In terms of parabola. And then if you get that lower high, that's kind of the GG for me. And if that does work out, that's going to tell us a lot more about risk on. Or not, as the case may be. Yeah, it's just a watch out. It's not a take this trade. It's a And you always only ever enter it when it's coming back down off a lower high, assuming that that's going to turn into a lower high, right? But it's a pretty decent run. Not quite the big expansive candle on a volume that I would hope for a parabolic high, but certainly not terrible. Yeah, and then the opposite side of this is, well, okay, if you want to get long on Doge, do you really want to long like right here? Yeah, not for me, not personally. It gets it's quite tough where it is. You know, do I really want to trade this? What looks to be like a pretty tight little range? Like that's kind of mid-range. Depending on where you wanna go. That's range low. I mean, I'll do it properly. Gosh. Do I really want to diddle in the middle of this? No, not at all. Not at all. Especially not after such an expansive move, right? Just not for me. If it does establish a range here, then we can do, you know, a range high breakout and play that trade if we wanted to, or a strong sell-off into a sweep of the lows, and then a range reclaim. Like, they're fine. Both those are fine ideas to play, but yeah, right at this point, nothing particularly interesting. Does that make sense? Diddling in the middle just gets you fucked. But yeah, I'm just trying to hold positions. And not like completely sell them off too early, and not cheat them, etc. How about Epic? Does that have any juice left? Well, that was an absolute banger. I must admit, I did not expect that to pull what it did. I've taken most of it out, so you know this. Let's go to the full noob setup. I don't know why I used the full noob setup. I did. Gosh. Sorry. Took me a while. Do I think it's got much juice left in the tank? Probably not. But yeah, that was quite surprising that it just literally ripped to 200% in a couple of days. You know, the little classic squiggle. Was great, but yeah, it's kind of it. You know, when you say, oh, does it have any juice left, it's like, what you want to see it do now is like this not to be a distributive top, right? Which sounds fucking obvious, and you go, well, Charlie, that's great. You know, how do you know that it's a distributive top or not? And you go, well, I don't know that, but I can see that there's a range built here. And I can see that we had a sell-off of the range, took all the lows, reclaimed it with relative strength, and then straight afterwards, we've just fucking dumped to the range lows again. Now, that is not a strong sign, right? It's not a good sign. To me, that would have been like, this is fucking going to continue up. This is absolutely going to blast through. But it got here, got sold off. Yeah, it's tough now, right? Literally has to reclaim that, and then you can play it to range highs, and then potentially beyond. But right here, right now, it looks fucking terrible. Like literally all it has to do is go up a couple of percent to make me change my mind, but yeah. It's not looking good, Brev. I actually think Let's see. Let me just turn this up a sec.
Deviation, brev. Deviation, brev.
Can you hear that? I've got so many memes. my PC is literally at memes. Good. Yeah, I will turn the volume back down to the music. But yeah, deviation, brev. You know, that's what we're hoping for, right? We're hoping that it's deviation. That's fine. But it might not be, and we don't know, obviously, like whether this is or not. But all you can decide is like, where do you want to enter, why do you want to enter, etc., etc. And like, to me, the entry is here. The entry is on that change in structure, confirming that this is the low, confirming that we should be in this value area. You know, it's not here. This is just betting on a low that it's going to be the low. Whereas when you actually start seeing a shift in market structure, that's when you can kind of say, well, there's a much higher probability that it's going to continue up, rather than it's literally going down, being sold off really, really fucking brutally. I think this is the bottom. Why? Well, now it's here. No, I think that's the bottom. What's here? No, I think that's the bottom. Whereas at least when you've got, you know, a higher low, you can go, well, structurally it would make sense that if it continues, that this is going to be the low, and you've got an invalidation, and it's confluent with a high time frame setup. Yeah. Yeah, back on like gaming coins, like I had a big bag of Kata at one point. Katana, you know, and it absolutely ripped. But now look at it, it looks dead as fuck. You know. Will it come back? No idea. No idea. I'd love gaming as a method to come back, because I am a gamer myself, right? But Jesus. Pengu, absolutely obscene chart. Can you look at Pepe and Troll? Look at all these coins, man. Future finance. I'll have a peep at Pepe, and then I'll probably head off. We'll do a short one today. Because I'm literally hanging out my ass. And we earned a couple of sol on the old, what's it called? Aussie coin, the classic. Right, where are we going? Pepe. Yeah. You know, Pepe's just not that interesting. Like, in terms of ETH beta and all that kind of stuff, like, it was alright down here. So looking at, let's go with that, shall we? Maybe a nice big blue. That's quite nice. Yeah, I like this in terms of structure in general. You know, a series of higher lows into a breakout with a clear resistance and a nice run. But now, like, trying to position in something like this is my idea of hell, right? And the reason it's my idea of hell is because you start looking at this and you go, well, where's the range? Like, yeah, this is nice in terms of structure, in terms of a series of higher lows, etc. But positioning into this in anything other than like a low time frame rotation is just quite difficult, I think. You know, I like consolidation, I like ranges, I like series of higher lows, I like clear resistance, I like relative strength in terms of like, where is it here? Like, I find vertical accumulation, which is what that is, you know, a series of higher highs and higher lows in a, you know, with very little ranging in between it, quite difficult to trade. The only exception to that really has been Altcoin, and I think I've still got one of them drawn up. Yeah, there you go. So this was something I talked about a while ago, right? Which is this. Like, look at that. Look at that for like an entry, and look at that for a rotation, and look at all it is literally diagonals. Like, literally diagonals. That's like half of how I traded this so well, right? Genuinely. You know, it's not more complicated than that. Well, there's a little bit, but yeah, it's just as it's breaking these strong downtrends. I don't know what the fuck. Oh yeah, that was talking about the fact that, you know, this is a downtrending channel, and then you start getting that consolidation, etc., etc. Like, yeah, it's just Altcoin as a coin trades very one-directionally for a long period, right? It just does this. But yeah, Pepe is much more like that, and it's much harder to get on shorter, sharper rotations versus longer, drawn-out trends, right? That's probably the more articulate way of putting it. Chill guy? No, I'm not gonna do chill guy. I suspect a lot of people have received some of that. So I will not be charting a chill guy, I'm afraid. Yeah, Pengu was really good. Now we've got shit like Smooth Love Potion pumping, which was absolute belter back in the day when Axie Infinity dropped Smooth Love Potion to people, and yeah, but look at it way back when. This was when crypto was cool. Now look at it, like, yeah. But yeah, I think that's probably enough for today. Like, I've gone into a lot more of structure of trades, risk management, all that kind of boring stuff that nobody pays attention to. But you know, then they say, "Well, how can I be a successful trader?" And you go, "Well, these things," and they go, "Oh, what?" Salary and market conditions like these. What should the average hold time be for a swing trade? I haven't looked at salary, mate. It's a really like interesting question because, I mean, how do I put it? For a swing trade, so by definition, you know, what is a swing trade? Now, people seem to have different versions of what a swing trade is, what a scalp is, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so like, oh, I'm scalping. Your average trade duration's 15 minutes. It might feel like a scalp. It's actually a low time frame rotation. A scalp is like in and out within seconds, right? Kind of like date night. Like, that's what scalping is. Oh, and Bitcoin is ripping, obviously. Wonderful. You know, it's not a kind of long duration trade in any way, shape, or form. With a swing trade, like, to me, it's a 4-hour chart that you're trading, like, probably minimum. You can probably justify it on the hourly if you really want to be aggressive, but you know, and you can execute on the 1 minute, obviously, but you're looking at 4-hour charts, and you know, how long do they take to play out? Typically with swing trades, time isn't a factor for me, and what I mean by that is, like, in this trade, like, time is a factor, right? Because you know, the further it goes along here, the less chance it has, if that kind of upward pressure has been like absorbed. If it starts doing this and ranging here, I'm going to be worried, because there is kind of like a pressure cooker kind of thought process to this, which is pressure is building, it should break out and it should go, and it did go, right? But if it was consolidating here, then there's a time kind of element to it, yeah? How long, like, aside from that, which is when do you cut the trade, like, if it's not working out as expected, like, now, you know, how long do I expect to hold this trade for? I've got no fucking clue. I've got genuinely no clue. There's not a right answer, you know. It could go here tonight, right? It could hit that target overnight. It could go like this for the next 10 days. It could hover here and slowly go up for, you know, a couple of months, right, or a couple of weeks, whatever. You know, my concept of time is obviously terrible. I don't care. There's not a limit on, you know, how long it should take or how long it shouldn't. But yeah, man, your lungs eating big, excellent. We love that. Bosh. There we go. We'll just move that along. Yeah. Oh, please. Because we talked about it earlier. I just did my classic thing of not fucking dragging that long enough. But yeah, hopefully this is the start of that Bitcoin rotation, and then hopefully we can kind of see live like what's going on in terms of risk on, risk off, like what. So all I'm doing is zooming around to here, seeing what's strong. Pengu, Myro, Moodang, so memes are kind of come back in play. Farcoin, useless, you know, memes. This is good. This is a good rotation. So I think I was wrong on my thought process, all right? Because actually, you know, we're going straight back to memes, high beta memes. You know, it's a bit more 50-50 in terms of like what's outperforming Bitcoin versus underperforming it, but it's still pretty good. that, you know, there's a lot of stuff massively outperforming it. Thoughts on SBET? No. I think I'm done with some low caps, and I'm just going to show my bags now. So I show Bert. Bert had a really nice little run. I'm just hoping that it can continue that run, continue that momentum, and just keep going higher, right? I've been in this for fucking ages. I bought more down here. I haven't sold any yet. You know, I'm waiting for it to like literally just fucking blast off again. Hopefully we get like a meme season. You know, a proper meme season. Not like this shite. And anyone as well. Got a decent bag of anyone. So I'm hoping that we can hold this pivot. This is exactly what I drew when I did the thread the other week, which is this. You know, simple stuff. Support, 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 resistance, resistance. You know, bounce above. Reclaim. Bosh. Send it. Simple stuff. If Bitcoin SFPs the highs, could be a potential short rotation. Yeah, absolutely. You know, if this is a swing failure and it is not a breakout for Daddy BTC, then it's going to be a long couple of days, I imagine. But that's okay. World of Warcraft just released Mr. Pandaria, so you know, your boy might be busy anyway. Yes, hopefully. No, it's not looking good, bruv, is it? We might have to play it again, boys.
Deviation, bruv.
I need like a soundboard or something. But either way. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be it from me, boys. So I would just like to say thank you all for being here. You are absolute chads for supporting the stream. Hopefully I've given you some decent insight into my trading thought processes, some actionable ways of viewing the market, both in terms of rotations, both in terms of ranges, spaghetti, all that kind of wonderful stuff. We even aped some wonderful low caps. And if you want to sign up to telemetry, the link's there, or the link's in the description. I'm just going to show it shamelessly because it's a fucking good product. And you are seeing me use it, and, you know, it is amazing. Like, you know, I wish I was better at on-chain trading, but, you know, I'm learning. It's okay. Where did Rip Aussie actually ran to 280k market cap, and we bought it at like 40k. Classic like 6x if I've not, you know, cheated, but we sold pretty high, to be fair. But anyway, thank you all for being here. I genuinely appreciate it. I will be doing the stream the same time next week, and if you liked it, like the video. If you want to see me next week, subscribe, and I will see you then. And yeah, I will love you and leave you. Au revoir.